Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Oh, welcome to John's Tarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be listening. Welcome to you from California.
You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Welcome to you from Florida.
You are talking to a man who has laughed in the face of death, sneered at doom, and chuckled at catastrophe.
Welcome to you from Georgia.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Welcome to you from, what else we got here? Minnesota.
Certainly. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed.
Welcome to you from Illinois.
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
Welcome to you from Missouri.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome to you from New Jersey.
This is all your fault, you.
Welcome to you from, what else we got here? Russia, of all places.
Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration.
Welcome to you from Senchen, Germany.
Good. Flat 2. Barada. Nikto. Flat 2. Barada. Nikto.
Welcome to you from Victoria, Canada.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Welcome to you from Victoria, Ontario. That was Ontario, Canada. Victoria, Australia. Welcome to you from Poland.
That ditch is Boss Keene's ditch. I told him that dirt in it's your dirt. What's your dirt doing in his ditch?
I don't know, boss.
You better get in there and get it out, boy.
Welcome to you from the United Kingdom.
My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
Like I said, welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be listening to this podcast. Man, I'll tell you, the news has been moving so rapidly that I don't put together my podcast anymore till the morning of. So I kind of, so many things are happening, and I got a number of things to talk about today, and so many things are happening so often that this week I decided that I would put up an audio-only edition on Tuesday. Yeah. So thank you. So on Tuesdays, this Tuesday I put up something on peaceful demonstration, on successful mass resistance movements of the past. And I did something, and I put it up, and I'll put something up on this Tuesday too. And I've gotten a pretty good response on it as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If you would like to appear as a guest on John's Tarot, please let me know, and we will get you as a guest. It's a simple thing. I send you a link, you log on, and we do the podcast. And I record it, and we put it up later. And I don't really cut anything. I very minor type of editing, just very, very minor. If you have a message you would like to get out, this is a good place to do it. You can get it out on John's Tarot. If you would like your city mentioned, go ahead and send me an email and let me know what city. If you have questions or topics, or questions or topics you would like me to do this on, again, send me an email. I was also considering doing a free readings portion, a call-in portion on my Tuesday. Yeah, it's not that funny. I'm considering doing a free readings portion on my Tuesday podcast, on my voice-only podcast. So if you think it would be worthwhile, send me an email. Let me know if there's a need for it or a want for it before I go through all that trouble of putting it up. I think that's all the stuff that I have for right now. I'm going to move right into the news portions and the readings portions. What I'm going to be doing now is taking a look at important news stories and doing readings on those, and see what we get from the tarot. The tarot always gives me some interesting readings, and see what we get. I always get interesting stuff. That's why this is John's Tarot. All right, let's move over to it. I'm kind of getting some things in place that should have been in place before. Let me move over to my news portion. I think the big news for today is the Israeli missile strikes on the Iranian nuclear sites as the Middle East braces for retaliation. Now, it's not only the Middle East that is bracing for retaliation. I think that it was known that the United States provides Israel with weapons, and we support Israel, and we probably provided them with intelligence information and although they probably knew already on the sites, on these nuclear sites. Marco Rubio gets right on. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio rushed to assure the world that America had not been involved after Israel launched overnight strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. But almost instantly, Iran made it clear it wasn't buying it and warned that Washington would be held accountable too. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region, Rubio said late Tuesday in a statement reported by Reuters, insisting Israel's decision to strike had been unilateral. Yeah, but Iran is not buying it. So I'm going to get right into it, right into my my tarot portion, and let's ask the tarot if we can expect retaliation here in the United States, and that is going to be my question. So let me go ahead and shuffle the deck. I don't see anybody else on the internet quite doing the things that I'm doing. My background today is taken in Egypt. I'm not sure that is. I was visited Egypt in a couple of years back, and I got pictures from there, and that is my numinous site for today. Yes or no? Yes or no? And can the United States expect retaliation from Iran as a result of Israel's supposed unilateral attacks? Now, Israel was attacked, we remember, last year, and it was pretty intense. What Iran did. I'm surprised that Israel's response wasn't more aggressive, but this was a pretty aggressive response. So can the United States expect a response from Iran as a result of Israel's missile attack? Swords and pentacles are no. Wands and cups are yes. 6 cards. Can the United States expect retaliation? Military. Let's be more specific. Can we expect a military retaliation from Iran as a result of Israel's response, Israel's attack? Can the United States expect a military response from Iran? Our first card is a 10 of Wands, and that is a yes. Second card is a 2 of Wands, and that is a yes. My third card is a bunch of yeses. I'm not happy about that. As a 6 of Wands, that is a yes. And then the fourth card is this is an overwhelming yes. 4 of Cups, or 6 of Cups, excuse me. The Hierophant. And the Knight of Cups. Yeah, big time. Big time. Iran is not happy about this at all. And if I do a little reading on these, as I look at these cards, the 10 of Pentacles, the United States and Israel have been working on this for a long time. The 10 of Pentacles has to do with hard work, focused attention. And then the present. Well, presently, the 2 of Pentacles, everybody is standing back and waiting to see what Iran's next move is going to be. A third card there, what is helping? What is helping is that it's the Six of Wands. It has to do with victory. Israel and the last card, the Knight of Pentacles, are both tied together. What is helping is Israel's recent victories over Hezbollah and the other terrorist groups right there in their area. Iran doesn't have what they used to have as far as the ability to strike back real easily, because Israel has pretty much obliterated the resistance movements in its area. And then obstacles, we keep on doing this. So the obstacles is the Six of Cups. It has to do with the past. What things have you learned from the past? Old relationships from the past, and have Iran learned from their past? Has Israel learned from their past? Have we learned from our past? That is the obstacles. Anybody learning from their past? Does violence really ever solve anything? I know Iran really wants to have nuclear weapons, but nuclear weapons not the way to go. We have them, and they're just a big expense and a big hassle. And then attitude of others. The whole world is watching, and they're hoping that the card is the Hierophant, and they're hoping that we learn from our past mistakes, and that we learn, and that Israel learned, and that Iran learned. And are we learning? What is the proper way forward? And then the outcome, or actually that is what to do, not the attitude of others. What to do? We should be learning. We should be taking this into consideration. What's the best way to go? And then outcome, the Knight of Cups. This is the position we always hope we find ourselves in. We're in like I said, this one is connected to the Six of Wands, and that this is a position we've all, in a position of where we have Iran at a disadvantage. This is a position we always felt that we're looking to find ourselves in, and place we've always wanted to be. I don't know if this is where we always wanted to be, but we're in a position of advantage over Iran, and I hope there wouldn't be any kind of retaliation. But the tarot says, yeah, Iran is going to militarily retaliate against the United States, and I am not particularly happy about that. Let's go on to our next story, and remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's move on to my next story. And I got some good stories up here today. My next story is, that has to do with, we're going to move on to, Trump's military parade. There we go. What to expect from Trump's military parade. That was my next one. President Trump is going to have I'm going to stay away from using his name. That's like Voldemort. Our elected government is going to have a military parade. That's the term I'm going to use, is our elected government is going to have a military parade this week on Saturday. But also on Saturday, there's going to be some mass demonstrations throughout the country. There we go. No King's Day. And you wonder, where are you going with this, John? And here's all the places these demonstrations are going to be held throughout the country. And there's going to be a demonstration actually near me as well. So my question to the tarot, what's going to be more popular? Now, I was reading on the internet today what states really support our elected government and what states do not. And many states do not support our elected government. And some still do, for the economy and the tariffs and all that stuff. And in regards to this holiday, let's see, how can I phrase this? What can we expect? So there's a conflict there between no King's Day and our elected government's military parade. And 3 cards. what can the tarot tell us about which is going to be more popular? The popularity of this, of New King's Day or our government's military parade, which is going to be more popular? Let's put it this way: what will be the population's response to our elected government's parade? Let's gather the cards. Let's shuffle the deck. What will be our population's response to our government's military parade? The overwhelming response to our government's military parade. What will be our population's response to this? Our government's military parade. What will be our population's response? And I'll throw some runes on this. My first card is the World card. Our second card is the Temperance. Our third card is the Two of Swords. And on this, I will throw some runes as well. That's what I always do. Odin, Freya, please help guide this reading. The World, Temperance, and the Two of Swords. What will be our population's response to our government's military parade? And the first rune is Pertho for the World. And now for Temperance, what will be our population's response to our government's military parade? These military parades, these are usually something that they do in Russia or Kim Jong-un does. They all do this type of thing. That's why Americans are kind of weirded out about it. And it just so happens to be on our government's birthday, our elected government's birthday. And my second rune is Dagaz, breakthrough. And my third rune for the Two of Swords is Iwaz. The World card has to do with, I'm going to do the reading. The World card has to do with it's the end of a cycle. This parade marks the end of a cycle. We've gone through an entire cycle with our elected government, and this parade is going to mark the end of a cycle. That's interesting. That the past. So this is going to mark, and then the rune Iwa or Pertho has to do with our elected government has chosen to take this chance. It's a gaming cup. And it also has to do, though, with soaring above an issue in order to get a clearer view. So it's the end of a cycle. Our population is going to soar above the parade itself to get a broader view on the direction it wishes to take. Our population is going to be the temperance card, moderation. We're going to take a moderate review on this, and there's not going to be a lot of violence. It's going to be a lot of moderation. There is going to be the No King's Day protest, but the protests are going to be peaceful. That's going to be the biggest thing. And breakthrough. The rune is called Dagaz, and it has to do with a breakthrough from the darkness into the light. So there's going to be a shift. This is going to mark a shift a moderate shift in the population's viewpoint. And then in the future, what can we expect? We have the Two of Swords, and we see there's a lot of issues here to be thought about, to be analyzed, and which way are we going to go? And then the rune has to do with Iwaz, has to do with delay and thought. So there's not, although we're going to take a temperate view, there's going to be a breakthrough, there's going to be a shift in the cycle, there's going to be a pause. Don't expect an immediate change in popular viewpoints, in polls. The population is going to take a There's going to be a pause. There's not going to be any violence, but there's going to be a pause as the people, as the population kind of shifts, make this kind of a shift, and we think about which direction we want to go. There's going to be a pause, a period of time, a period of reflection as we take in all this information. We know there's been some difficult things with our elected government's choices, and this is all going to be taken into consideration, and there's going to be a pause. And that is what we have for that. Let me move on to another story. What do we have for another story? And this story is going to be, I kind of like this story here. So, as you know, our elected government sent troops, U.S. Marines and National Guard troops, into California. And Gavin Newsom, our governor, has really stood up to it. I have a couple of questions here, actually. I hope I'm not running too late with this. I got a couple of questions, actually, to ask about Gavin Newsom. And there was another. So Gavin Newsom has stood up to our elected government. And so has this senator here, Alex Padilla. Democratic U.S. Senator Alex Padilla was forcibly removed from a news conference held by Homeland Security Kristi Noem in Los Angeles on Thursday and placed in handcuffs. Noem was giving an update on immigration enforcement after nearly a week of protest in the city when Senator Padilla interrupted and started shouting questions. "I am Senator Alex Padilla," he said, and was confronted by authorities. I have questions for the secretary, and as we all know, he was dragged out. And my question might be, I have a lot of questions on this. Our new, is there, I've been waiting for, I even have this written down. I've been waiting for, how can I say this? New leaders to emerge. Mostly the Democratic Party has been quiet. Governor Newsom has been leading the way in opposition. And then this Alex Padilla, he's also moving forth with opposition. So my question to the tarot, what's my question going to be to the tarot? Let me gather the cards here. Let's gather the cards. Yes and no. Our new leaders finally coming to the forefront in opposition to our elected government. Our new leaders finally starting to emerge from the pack. And let's shuffle the deck. Our new leaders finally starting to emerge from the pack in opposition to our elected government. You like the way I use that term? Yeah, our elected government. Our new leaders starting to emerge in opposition to our elected government. And this is just going to be a yes or no. Wands and cups are yes. Pentacles and swords are no. Our new leaders now starting to emerge from the pack and show the path to resist our elected government. First card is the Tower. Oh boy. Second card is, yes, Two of Cups. So the Tower is showing there's going to be a collapse in support for our elected government. Yeah. People are glad to hear that, huh? And then the second card is the Presence, a wish-granting jewel, the Nine of Cups. So we're the old. Just like in our last reading, it talks about the end of a cycle. The tower that's starting to fall, is starting to deteriorate. The present, wish, this is what we're all hoping for. We're all hoping for a change. And then a third card is the Eight of Swords. what is helping? Oh, and that has to do with that's a no in our readings here. So I got one yes and one no. So I don't, the truth is all around us. Are we able to see the truth? We're blindfolded. We need to take a broader view of what's going on. And then the fourth card, the Chariot. The Chariot has to do with what is helping. There's going to be a change. The Chariot is a moving card, but it doesn't have anything to do with yes or no. And then the third card is that's a no. The Three of Pentacles. What has to do with obstacles. So they're still building support. Our current government, our elected government, is building support, and he has people who are involved in knowing how to manipulate the population, how to manipulate the media, and that is an obstacle to new leaders being starting to emerge from the pack. And then the sixth card is the Three of Wands, and that is the outcome, like what to do. But it's even right now. I have two pentacles. I have two yeses, two nos. So anyway, we're all kind of waiting to see what emerges. We've made some decisions. What's going to be the tiebreaker? I got two yeses, two nos. The Moon. Yeah, we're on a journey. We're on a journey, and it's a scary journey, and we just don't know which way to go. And we're being guided by the light of the moon, but the guidance is dimly lit. And my final card, the tiebreaker, is the Five of Cups, where you see a man looking at three cups that have fallen on the ground and got two cups behind him. And we're new people, new leaders are going to start to emerge from the pack. Some of our old ideals and choices are going to have to be left behind, and as new, and maybe old leaders will be left behind as well, as new choices and new opportunities that we still have with us. We're going to keep the Two of Cups behind the guided man, and in the background you see a bridge, and we're going to be showing a way across difficulties and to our goal. You see a castle in the background. So yes. New opportunities, new choices. New leaders are starting to emerge from the pack. Old ones will be left behind. New ones, people like Newsom and Padilla, will remain. And we're going to be shown a way but the path will be dimly lit by the moon into a new future and new opportunities. Let me go ahead and gather the cards. I was going to ask if Newsom was going to run for president, and I have a thing about that, but I don't know if I'm going to ask that one this week, because Newsom says Newsom changes his tune about running for president. Over the past month, Democratic governor who once insisted that he had sub-zero interest in the White House has begun to publicly inching towards the idea in a profile published in the Wall Street Journal this week. Newsom said he would have to wait and see if the moment felt right. I'm not thinking about running, but it's a path I can see unfold. Well, we'll just see. And Newsom really made a strong stance. He really made a strong stance, and there's some court cases going on right now on whether our elected government can invoke. And that was another question I was going to ask this week, but I haven't got to it. Is will our elected government put federal troops in other states? California just being the first. But Newsom took a strong stance against our elected government, and in his speech that he gave, there was a court case, and I think it's still in the air as of this podcast, on whether our elected government can put the National Guard in any states without going through the proper process. But he says this is all. Gavin Newsom says this is about all of us. This is about you, Newsom says. It's time for all of us to stand up. And that is what a little bit of my investigation into that. New people are going to emerge. I have a story here, a final story, and we're going to take a look at this one. This one is just for fun. And this one, Hegsworth Chief says there's an American soldier on the moon. While President Trump's Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegsworth, testified at a congressional hearing this week, U.S. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll appeared on Fox News. Driscoll spoke about the Army's recruitment tactics and promoted the upcoming military parade in Washington, D.C., which will be held on Saturday, June 14th, on Trump's 79th birthday. I wasn't even going to, but it's in the article. I wasn't going to say it, but it's in the article. Driscoll said, as young Americans across the country get to see all of the amazing things that the Army has done, and our armed services are filled with amazing young people, whether it's helping with floods in North Carolina or wildfires in California. Or we talked to an astronaut yesterday who's on the moon, who's a soldier. Since no American has been on the moon since 1972, more than one ex-user replied, "What?" Many are trying to figure out if Driscoll misspoke or if he knows something that we don't know. And more are leaving snarky replies, including, "Never left" is a moon landing conspiracy we've all been thirsting for. So, my question is, do we currently have Americans on the moon? I'm just going to do 3 cards, and I'm going to go ahead and start to wrap this up. Do we currently have Americans on the moon? Let's shuffle the deck. And I'm going to do a yes or no with just 3 cards. Well, I got to do 6 cards. Do we have Americans currently on the moon as leaked by Mr. Driscoll? Do we currently have Americans on the moon? Okay, 6 cards. 6 cards, and I'm not going to use the runes. Do we currently have, yes or no? Do we currently have Americans on the moon? My first card will be the Magician. Kind of an interesting card. My second card will be the 6 of Pentacles. Do we have Americans currently on the moon? American soldiers currently on the moon as leaked by the Defense Secretary. The Fool. I'm not going to do a reading with this. This is just going to be straight yes or no. This one was just for fun. Do we currently have American soldier on the moon? The Judgment card. So I only have 1 no. I throw out all the major arcana. It's funny. I have this many major arcana. The tarot is trying to tell me something. And then the 4th card is the 9 of Pentacles, which is a no. And then my final card is the 6 of Wands, which is a yes. Now, we currently don't have any Americans on the moon, but I think it's coming up. It looks like it's coming up. Now, we're going to try to put something together, and that they're working on it right now. They're choosing people to go to the moon. And it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a fool's journey. And then what is obstacles? You know, when you can have some new thinking, some new choices involved, some new ways of doing this, especially with our. I understand our elected government is cutting back on NASA missions and SpaceX missions. And the attitude of others is has to do with we're in a period of grace. We do have all these resources, but they've been hard worked, and are we going to take advantage of them? And eventually, the outcome, we will have people on the moon, but just not at this time. So, for this week, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Well, it was my pleasure. I hope to see you all, and hope to hear from you all, and let me know what you think about my Tuesday podcast only, oral, podcast only on John's Tarot, which you can find at johnstarot.net, and it'll be up there in the corner, or it's on John's Tarot, one word, John's Tarot. It's on all the major podcast services. I'm on all. I am surprised. I'm on so many podcast services, and that's starting to pick up. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind, and remember, have faith, find courage. And I will see you all again on Tuesday, or hear from you all again, and you'll hear from me again on Tuesday, and I'll be live again on next Friday. Okay, bye-bye. You guys have a great day. Have a great week.